Oh,
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
这是坐在这上面吗？
是，我是口译，您需要翻译吗？
啊，需要。
是问题就好了。
对，问题就可以了。嗯。Are you having a good day?
Yes, yes, thank you.
So 我们开始了吗？所以我的第一个问题说，这是一部拍摄给基督徒或天主教看的电影吗？那么不是这个信仰的人要怎么样什么样的心态来观赏这部片子
Is this a film for Christians and Catholics? So if people are not followers of this religion, how should they watch this film?
I think that's a good question because I don't think people should approach this film as saying, first of all, the word in capital letters religion, and then another capital Catholic Christian. I think it's about our existence. It's about who we are as human beings. It's about our human condition. It's about the questioning.
Yes.
It's about the questioning.
Yes.
Of us questioning the cosmos, basically. Yes. Yeah. It happens to be based on a true story that dealt with Catholics and Christians in Asia.
Yes.
So, but the element of the story, the main element, is something I think it's universal.
Yeah, and in the movie, even the priest was a question about if God is listening or it exists. So I'm a Christian, so I have the same question.
Yes.
I want to know, what about you?
Well, I've had the same. That's one of the reasons I made the film. The question doesn't go away. One has to, I really think, understand, and I've been very much involved in Catholicism, Christianity over the years, that the fear of losing faith is doubt. But doubt is part of faith. One has to get past the doubt. I saw this film the other night about these nuns in Poland in 1946 and undergoing great hardship. And one of them said, people don't understand that it's 98% doubt and maybe 2 moments of belief each day.
Yes. Yes.
But they keep doing, and it comes from we do. In other words, if we feel that nothing has any meaning, then we should give it meaning. We should make the meaning.
Yes.
And maybe that is the possibility of God speaking through us. You see. Yeah.
Were there any moments that you think you heard something from God?
I think it's taken many years to get the picture clear in my head, and then there were many setbacks, financially, creatively, legally, and then family issues became very difficult. And I think for some reason it made it more important to make the movie, and particularly the more I learned about family and at a later age. The values in my life started to change. And so in a way, that voice was there to keep pushing and hope that maybe it helps or people could find meaning in it, either now or in the future. You know, the film years from now, maybe somebody sees it. But the struggle was the key. The struggle, making the film, the struggle just to live and grow.
And Andrew's performance is such a moving and impressive. So, why did you decide to cast him at the beginning?
Well, he came in over the years. There were different actors involved, but by the time we got around to try to make the film fell apart. So the actors became older. So each time I had a new generation. Who's new? Wait, let's get these new kids. Who are they? Oh my God, he's great. He's great. And so we'd get, and then some I liked years ago, and they said, I'm not doing it. I don't believe in any of this. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in any of this, and I therefore cannot give you a true performance. If I'm going to work with you, they said, I want to give you something that comes so authentic from me.
Yes.
And if I don't believe it, I said, okay, you know. But with Andrew, what happened was that he was a number of people that we saw. His audition was quite unique because he did one scene, and so I looked at Ellen Lewis, as I said, it was in a room this size, and I said to her, well, interesting. I said, so I gave some direction, and he did it. And then I said, well, let's try another scene. Let's try another scene. And the audition lasted about 3 hours, in which time I kind of felt the character start to come alive. And also he had what's the word? The adventure about it. He wanted to go to the spiritual place. And it took him almost a year before we got the film made, so he had a year to prepare.
Yeah.
And what you see on film is pretty much the way he was day and night on set. I mean, sometimes we don't say good morning, he would be wandering. And once we got ready to shoot, my assistant director would guide him in, and I'd give a little direction, maybe not, and then we get started. But it wasn't like, hey, good morning, how you laugh and joke, none of that. What you see every day was that.
And I got very emotional when seeing the ocean torture scene.
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to know that how did you make it so real? And
they did it. They did it. They did it. We had George Aguilar, who's my stunt coordinator for years now, since 1995. And George brought in a whole team of people. They worked out the safety of putting the crosses in the rocks. And then we had to watch out for the tide. It was very difficult. And Shinya Tsukamoto, who's a great, he plays Moikichi.
Yes.
He's a great Japanese filmmaker too, wild films he makes. And Yoshio Ida, who is 82 years old. And the third man was on the cross, it was a stuntman. And when we did the tighter shot, we did that in Taichung.
Yeah, and use the same tank with...
The same tank as Life of Pi.
Yes.
But people think, well, you use a tank. It's not that easy, because if you look at Shinya and Yoshi, in the tank we had a machine that made waves.
Yes.
Now, the wave overwhelming the actors. You see it right there in the film. So when I say cut, they stop the machine, but the waves keep coming.
Yes.
So the stuntmen came in and took them off the crosses. You know, so those actors were amazing. They're amazing. And Shinya Tsukamoto said, I go back in. I said, no, we don't need any more. But the majority of that scene was shot in Hualien. Is that how you say it? Yes.
Hualien, yes.
Yeah, in those caves, that beautiful cave, day and night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild.
My last question, that's very important to me, that how do you see the denouncing thing?
Oh, what drew me to the story was that when he denounces, somehow, and I know Endo meant this, because many people believe this, when he discards or denies Christianity as he's professing it, up to that point in time, he finds the real Christ. He finds an emptiness. He finds true Christianity. He finds he's closer to Christ than he was when he was adoring Christ and seeing his face all the time and suffering like Christ. No, all this is taken away, and now you become the servant. Now you become completely emptied of ego. And then he understood. That's very beautiful, you know. Yeah.
And heartful.
Yeah, I hope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a photo?
Thank you. Oh, a picture, yes, of course.
Can we do this? It's so nice.